Hello guys, what is up? Today I am doing what if Deku trained like BaKi. And I appreciate how much you guys watch this what if because this is something that I love on this channel. This what if is awesome because I love BaKi and this is really fun because I'm gonna switch up the story a lot. So watch out because there might be things that you may not like. I'm gonna add them in and you can just tell me why you don't, and I might remove them or not because it depends on the story and how it's gonna work. So just warning you guys. Now let's get right into the what if. Now last time I left off, Deku just saved Uraraka, and then after that, after the practical exam, Deku walks in with Uraraka in his hands and lays her down on a bed, and Recovery Girl thanks him. She also notices his bandages and asks, "Young man, don't you need to stay as well? You're pretty banged up." Deku says, "Nah, this is pretty normal for me. It'll heal soon." Deku walks out thanking Recovery Girl, and Recovery Girl thinks, "Oh, he must have a regeneration quirk." When Deku gets home, he finds his parents arguing. Deku asks what's going on, and Yujiro and Inko sit down with Deku and explain that Yujiro wanted to test Deku, and Inko doesn't agree with it. Inko says to Yujiro that it's too dangerous, and Yujiro responds by saying, "No, I'll be there." Deku is confused as to what is going on and just asks, "He's just testing you, right? It's not that big of a deal." Yujiro says, "Son, I want to test your strength against a powerful animal, but it's your choice whether you agree to or not." Deku says, "Is there a chance I might die?" Yujiro, "Yes." Before Inko can say that it was a bad idea and that Deku should just say, Deku interrupts and says he'll do it, surprising Inko, but she understands the drive that Deku has to get strong because he doesn't have a quirk. So the next day, Yujiro and Deku get in Yujiro's truck filled with workout equipment such as dumbbells weighing from around 30 to 100, and a bench and a barbell with some weights and axes and a vest that weighs 100 pounds. Deku is about to start his hardest training session. He is running. As he arrived, they unpack everything and set up camp, and the first thing that Yujiro tells him is that this animal was extremely dangerous and that he's fought it in the past, and he at that age barely was able to beat it. But he can easily beat it now because now he's pretty much the strongest creature on earth, but nobody knows that, so shh. And when they start, Deku is running up a hill with a 100-pound vest. His legs are bulging and throbbing in pain, but he pushes on. This training is just to activate his endorphins, and if you don't know what endorphins are, they're what athletes activate when they're running, which makes them lose their sensation of pain. So Yujiro was trying to train Deku to, activate it on his own. So after that, he lifts weights and then chops up wood to increase his back muscle, and he also benches, and Yujiro puts him in life and death situations while they spar. So he's coming at him with real intent to kill, and this makes Deku more alert and more serious. This goes on for about a month, and at the end, Deku can bench 300 pounds, curl 70 pounds, run easily faster than cars and normal mobiles, other than a train and stuff like that, because that's just crazy speed. We're not at that level yet. He can also activate his endorphins at will, so he can just make himself feel no to pain. He'll still get hurt, obviously, but his punch can crush metal way easier, but with bandages on, obviously. After that, all of that, it's time to fight the ape, and they walk into the territory of it. The ape is called the Yasha ape, which is what BaKi fights in the actual series, and that thing is a monster, I swear. Yujiro says good luck to Deku as Deku walks in the ape's territory, which Yujiro pointed to, and sees that it's a massive animal, bigger than a truck. And he is just amazed, excited, and in fear because, you know, he has that battle instinct. He likes fighting, he still feels fear, but it's due to the Hanma blood inside him. This scares the hell out of him, obviously, but Deku steals himself and gets into a position, then taunts the animal by throwing a rock at its back. And the animal charges at him, and then they start their fight. Deku is dodging and using light punches to test how strong the animal is, but the ape just gets madder and madder as he grabs Deku's leg and then slams him to the ground. Deku feels a lot of pain and gets up, realizing that this is not going to be an easy fight, and he activates his endorphins, and then they keep punching each other and they get into a fist fight, and they're breaking bones, they're like, you know, fighting all out. Of course, Deku is protecting his vitals. He's getting hurt, but not in the wrong places. He is losing, but he's not feeling the pain, so he's full throttle. Yujiro is far off in the distance and getting ready to intervene, but when Deku notices this, he gets pissed off because he doesn't want his dad to have to help him whenever he gets in a sticky situation. So he sticks his hand out as the ape is about to grab him to slam him down again, and grabs his eyeball and just rips it out, making the ape right up in pain a little bit. And then he drops it to the ground, and Yujiro was actually amazed because he sees that Deku has realized that this is not gonna be a normal fight with someone, that he has to do whatever he can to win. Yujiro backs off a little bit and starts watching more. But to Deku's surprise, the ape grabs his eye and eats it like it was nothing. This makes Deku just freak out, but then he knows, you know what, F it, I have to go all out. Every single ounce of my strength has to go to each punch, and I have to beat this thing. So they start hitting each other harder than before, slamming into each other, doing whatever they can. Deku was aiming at the ribs and the important parts of the body, while the ape is just retaliating with just raw strength. And this goes on for an hour, and after that they both fall to the ground. Yujiro just stands there waiting to see who gets up first, because that's who will win. After a few minutes, Deku starts to struggle to get up, barely able to lift his hand up, and then he stands straight and raises his hands up, claiming victory. After a while, the ape also gets up and, tries to go at it again, but then realizes that Deku is actually unconscious and is just standing up because he has so much will right now that he is now willing to back down. This makes the ape actually respect Deku when he walks away back to his den, which is a cave, by the way, up in the mountains. Deku falls back as Yujiro catches him, and Yujiro says, "You did well, son, and thank you, Yasha." After that night, after night falls, Deku wakes up in a fighting pose and being on edge. So Yujiro calms him down, and they set up camp, light a fire, and all that. Deku asks, "Did I win?" Yujiro says, "Yes, but only by a hair." This makes Deku look a bit disappointed, but then Yujiro says, "But a win is a win. That's how the world works." Even the ape recognizes his loss, despite just being an animal. Keep going like this, and maybe you'll make it to number 1. Deku thanks his dad, and then they talk and laugh, and eat until night falls. Until they fall asleep. Sorry, I don't know why I said that twice. The next day, they're packing up and getting ready to leave, but Deku tells Yujiro to give him a few moments, that he's gonna be back. Deku walks to the Yasha ape's den and sees him eating a boar, and he bows, thanking him and giving him the respect that he deserves because they both fought hard and he barely won, so he has respect for him. This kind of sparks a bit of a rivalry, but also friendship in between them. So, they're like close pals, but the ape The ape didn't say anything, but Deku can feel how much closer they've gotten. And Deku walks back to Yujiro and they leave. Back into the city, finally. After they arrive, Inko and I walk to the door. Inko notices how much buffer Deku has gotten and is amazed at his growth. But then she also notices how many more scars that he's gained. So she scolds Yujiro. He might be the strongest man alive, but that's nothing compared to his wife. And after she scolds Yujiro, they eat and blah blah blah. They talk, they have fun, they catch up, and then Deku is getting ready to go back to sleep because he has had a long session just now. He needs to sleep. He's out of gas. But before he can go up, Inko says, "Oh, your UA letter came in about a week ago. I put it on your desk." Deku says, "Thanks," and walks up. When Deku gets to his room, he sees the envelope and opens it up to see a disc that pops out a hologram of All Might that says he has the highest score with 140 points because he got 70 villain points and 60 rescue points for saving Uraraka. And he's pretty hyped, but he knew he was gonna make it in anyway because he was fighting tough. He goes to sleep pretty proud of himself. The next day, Deku gets up full of energy, takes a shower, brushes his teeth, eats, dresses up, and runs out without a second thought. But this time he decides to jog to UA, wanting to get pumped for the morning because he's still feeling a bit sluggish and he doesn't like it. So he doesn't take the train this time. When he arrives, he opens the giant door to see Bakugo and Ida arguing. Then everyone just stares at him because he has gotten way bigger and he almost is the size of an adult male. And if I didn't mention this last time, Deku was actually 6'3". That's a big deal in this. But this just makes Bakugo more pissed because he still has that kind of inferiority complex from when he tried to fight Deku, and Deku will just beat him up all the time. Ida walks up, speed walking, and says, he's a better student than he is, and blah blah blah, what Ida typically does. But before Deku can retaliate and say he just did it because he wanted to, Uraraka walks in asking, "Is that you? You've gotten bigger than last time I saw you." Deku says, "Hey, Uraraka, right?" Uraraka says, "Yep, I'm happy you remembered." Then Aizawa walks in with his sleeping bag, scaring everyone, telling Uraraka that if she's here just to make friends, then she might as well just leave. Everyone sits down as Aizawa explains that they're going to be doing a quirk assessment test. He then points to the uniforms that pop out. No, he then gives them the uniforms and then tells them to head out. When everyone gets out, they stare at Deku again because even though he is huge, he also has like a balanced muscle mass, and they also see his scars, which kind of scares some people, but some people are amazed, like Kirishima, because he is so manly. Then Aizawa looks at him and then says, "Why aren't you wearing the uniform I gave you?" And Deku isn't wearing the uniform, he's wearing jogging pants and a tank top. And Deku says, "Oh, sorry, the uniform doesn't fit me. It kind of ripped when I tried to put it on." Everyone is shocked again. And they are not really, they're amazed, but they're not that amazed considering his physique. They're surprised that he could even try it on before it ripped. Aizawa then says, "Did you come with those clothes?" And Deku says, "Yep, I'm always ready to fight." This impresses Aizawa as he hands the ball to Deku and says, What is your farthest throw in elementary school?" Deku says 150 meters. And I don't know, I know you guys maybe are saying that I'm pushing this a bit, but if you watch BaKi, you will see what I mean, because everyone in that show is a monster. So this is not that big of a deal. There's someone who legitimately burns calories as he eats in the show. It's just crazy. You have to watch it for yourself to find out. And everyone's jaw drops because elementary schoolers aren't exactly supposed to have that kind of strength. So I mean, damn. So he hands the ball to Deku, and Deku gets in a throwing stance. as Aizawa instructed, and then he launches it with all his might, but slightly steps out of the circle. So Aizawa tries to stop his quirk, but Deku just keeps going in motion and then launches the ball as far as he can, getting 1,000 meters. Aizawa asks, "What? But I stopped your quirk. How did you get 1,000 meters?" Everyone just cannot take this crap anymore. This dude is just way too much. And they're wondering what his quirk is. And Aizawa asks him, "What exactly is your quirk?" Deku says, "Oh, I'm quirkless." "What?" Aizawa exclaims. And that's where I'm gonna leave it off. Hope you guys enjoyed this part. I enjoyed making it. And I hope you like, subscribe, and comment. And yes, those of you who wanted Momo to be, main girl, I'm gonna make her main girl, but that's gonna come in the heroes versus villains part. So I hope you, stick around for that. And thank you for watching my videos, and thanks for the support. And yeah, and until next time.